weeds. They're an absolute nightmare. One of the things you can do is put down a membrane like this. Actually, I need a bit of help with this. Tony?
What?
Well, that's very...
Can't you see I'm busy?
You do need two people with this, especially on a windy day. Basically, this material is like a Mypex. You can get it on the roll. You can buy it in a roll, or you can buy it by the metre from garden centres. And it's great for rolling out on a bare piece of earth. And then you secure it around the edges. You can either dig it in, or use bits of wood or bricks or anything like that heavy. And this allows water and air through, but it will stop the weeds growing underneath. Unless, of course, they're really persistent, things like bindweed. I mean, they're a nightmare. I mean, they'll actually even grow underneath, won't they?
Great for annual weeds, aren't they?
Yeah, great for annual weeds. But it's great if you've got a big area and you haven't got time. This will just keep the ground nicely covered. So another area like this, maybe we want to say dig this area over. So what do we want to do? We want to get rid of the weeds. So, cue Tony with a hoe.
Okay, it's one of my favourite hoes.
So we want to prepare this bit of ground for growing. So we want to get rid of the weeds. If you're just hoeing like this, you just knock off the tops and they're dead, they die. That's it, isn't it?
That one.
But look at this little devil here. Ah!
Yeah.
This one is ground elder. Now this ground elder has got roots that have got like sort of almost storage organs, and they'll just keep sprouting year after year. Really hard to get rid of. You've either got to just keep hoeing and hoeing, or you can get sprays, but some people don't like using them, which will go down to the roots and kill the roots. Or you can eat it. That's one way of getting rid of it. Ground elder you can eat.
Really?
Yeah, but you've got only the really, really young shoots. Other things on here, we've got grass that obviously, again, some grasses are much more persistent and got underground storage roots, so they'll keep sprouting. And what we need here is probably another hoe, a hand hoe, or a... That'll do. There we go. These sort of weeds. There we go. Look, see, I've not got all the root out. See, that's what happens. If you leave a little bit of root in, these perennial weeds, they'll just re-sprout. So what if we go over to a crop that's actually growing? So how do we weed a crop that's starting to get established? These are quite tricky to weed because they're very, very easily damaged. You've got the developing bulbs underneath. Quite often it's useful to use something called an onion hoe, which is, as Tony's got here, it's got like a hook on the end with a plate. And the good thing about that is it's got a pulling action, and a pulling action means you've got a little bit more control rather than a push. This is a Dutch hoe here. If you're pushing these towards to get rid of the weeds, it's very easy to damage the bulb.
Perfect for there.
Perfect for
you can get down the rows, can't you?
Yeah.
You get in between
Yeah.
the plants.
It's
One of these is absolutely brilliant.
yeah. These hoes, the Dutch hoes, are quite good in between the rows. The good thing about hoeing, it has a secondary purpose. It breaks up the soil, because quite often the soil gets a little bit compact. And when it rains, the water can just run off. Hoeing allows it to break the surface up, so when it rains, the water will immediately sink down and get to the roots.
And it's very therapeutic.
It can be. It depends how much you've got of it.
It's good when it's ready for progress.
Yes. But as I say, the annual weeds, you literally knock their heads off and they'll just die. Perennial weeds, they will come back, but you just have to keep hoeing regularly. And I think it's always best to hoe regularly, hoe little and often, isn't it?
Yeah.
Rather than wait till the weeds to get too big. If you do this, if you just go over the soil every week, it's a quick job then, isn't it?
5 minutes, 10 minutes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So there we go, some top tips on weeding.